How's it going, everybody? It's CJ here with Boffners, and today I'm going to take you through the process of restringing an acoustic guitar. Right, so I've got this beautiful Cort A6 with me today, and this thing is in serious need of a new set of strings. So we're going to start at the start with the old strings on it, and of course the place to start is to get those strings off. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go to our machine heads and we're going to start winding them down. You'll feel them getting looser. Make sure you're not winding them in the wrong direction, that they're tightening. You'll feel the string get looser. And what you're going to do is just wind and wind, get all the winds out there. And once you've unwound it completely, you'll be able to pull the string out of the hole like that on the pin. And then we have a loose string over here. And then we're going to go to the bridge section of the guitar. And there'll be these little pins over here. And once it's loose over here, you'll be able to push it in a little bit. And the pin will come right out just like that. And then we'll be able to pull the string through that hole. Just like that. And we've now removed our first string. It's very important not to lose these little pins that go at the end of the guitar. We want to keep all of those. Right, I'm going to move ahead and remove all of the other strings. It works exactly the same way every time. You can, like I just did with the first one, do this by hand, constantly turning. But you can make things go a little bit easier and a little quicker with one of these. This is a string winder, and really all it does is you pop it on the end. Let me show you on this side. You pop it on the end and you can, it just speeds the process up a whole lot, as you can see. So I'm going to get all of these off. We repeat the exact same process every time, and before you know it, we'll have no strings on the guitar. And right, there we have our completely de-strung acoustic guitar. And of course, this is a great opportunity to take a cloth and just wipe down and clean up any of the sections that you generally can't get to when there are strings on the guitar. It's a good cleaning opportunity, so I always like to just give it a little bit of a wipe down. Just like that. Next step, of course, is our strings. Today, I'm going to be using this pack of Ernie Ball's new Everlast strings. These are coated acoustic guitar strings. Really great, so I'm going to put them on this guitar. Let's open them up. They'll come in individual packets like that, 6 of them, just like that. From 52, 42, 30, 22, 15, and 11. In the case of this pack, this is a pack of 11 gauge strings. It is super important. You don't want to get these mixed up or jumbled up and put them in the wrong order in the guitar. You want the thickest string, in this case the 52, on the lowest end of the guitar, that is the bit closest to you when playing, all the way up to the highest string, the thinnest one, the 11, on the end of the guitar that is furthest away from you when playing. So we're going to start with the lowest string, the 52. Take it out. Brand new, fresh, coated acoustic guitar string. Get it unraveled. And we're going to start at the bridge. Where we ended, where we took the string out, we're going to start at the bridge. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the ball end of our string over here, and we're going to take our pin. You'll notice that one side of the pin is rooted, sort of in the middle. There's sort of a cutout over there. What we're going to do is we're going to take the ball end of our string, and it's going to look a little bit something like that, with the string sort of slotted in there, is the way it's going to end, and just like that. And that's sort of the way we want it to go into this hole, right where we took it out. And we're going to push it in We're going to push that pin in nice and tight, and you'll feel that it's taut, and we're good to go. Right, so of course the next step, now that our string is secure at the bridge end, we need to secure it at the machine head end. So we're going to start at our first machine head. So the first thing you want to do is at your first machine head that this E string is going to connect to, we're going to make sure that the small hole is lined up with our neck. And we're going to take the end of our string and we're going to insert it into that hole. And it's going to go right through just like that. Now we're almost ready to begin winding up the string. In order to do that, we need to provide a little bit of slack in the string so that there is still some remaining to be wound up so that it's nice and solid once all strung up. I usually go to about the 12th fret of the guitar. I pick my finger up like this, giving it probably somewhere in the vicinity of 8 to 10 centimeters of space, and that is plenty of slack to give you 1 or 2 winds around this pin over here. So now that we've measured out how much we need, all we're going to do, just to help us out a little bit so that the string doesn't slip when we start winding, is I like to give it a little bend in the string, just like that, going away from me, which is also in the opposite direction that we're going to be winding the string up. And this will just help it not slip out while we're starting to wind. At this point, it should look a little something like this. We've got our bridge in, we've got our slack, and we've got a small kink in the string, a little bend there, just so it doesn't slip out. And now we can begin winding. Once again, you can do this by hand. It's not a problem at all. It just takes you a little bit longer. I've got this super handy Ernie Ball string winder with me today, so I'm going to use that. It makes this process go far, far quicker. So let's wind it up. And there, right, and there we have our first string perfectly attached. One thing you want to be careful of is you just, at this point, we don't have to worry about getting it in tune. You just want to get it to the point that it's taut, that it's not flopping about. It doesn't have to be perfectly in tune. It should rather be a little bit lower, in fact, because you don't want to keep winding, make it too tight, and then the string snaps. So just stop when the string is nice and taut, especially if you're not connected to a tuner at the time. You don't want to run into any trouble like that. That is totally avoidable. So there you have it. That is a fully attached string. The next thing we just need to do is get rid of all of this excess. So the way we get rid of the excess is you take a pair of pliers. Any pliers will do, any kind of wire cutters or anything like that with a sharp end. So what we're going to do is we're going to come right up to where the string comes out of the little hole there on that pin. We're going to get nice and close to it, of course being very careful not to cut the string that we've just attached. And we're just going to snip off that excess. And there you go. That is a perfectly attached E string. So let's jump on to the next one. We'll pop our string in there, push our pin down in the same way, make sure that our string is nice and tight over there, properly locked in, and then we can of course move back over to the headstock side. And again, we're looking at our next string in line, so our next machine head in line. We're getting a little hole lined up nicely so that we can grab our string, slot it through, make sure that it's nicely in line with the neck. Again, I like to go to the 12th fret, give myself 8 or 10 centimeters like that. Once I've marked off enough space for the wind, I'll come over, give it a bend in the opposite direction that I'm going to be winding it. And then we should be good to go. And there we have our second string attached. And then of course we just want to get rid of all of this excess. We grab our clippers, get nice and close. Again, being careful not to cut any of the attached strings, and just clip off all of that excess. Job done. And that is the basics of how you do it. I'm going to fast forward through the others a little bit. The process is repeated 100% the same way through all 6 strings. There's nothing new you need to know. Let's quickly dive through that. And that is the last one. Final clip. And we officially have our fully restrung acoustic guitar. It's as simple as that. I'll see you guys next time.